pray. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity we have to serve in Ashland, Kentucky. We ask for wisdom and guidance on our board of mayor and city commissioners as we strive to make the right decisions for our city and its people. We ask your blessing and favor on our city manager, our department heads, and our employees. We ask your blessing on our citizens and those in attendance this evening. We ask your guidance and direction in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to receive and file the agenda. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign. Receive and file the minutes. Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. The same vote? Okay, great. Hearings reports. Commissioners, anything? Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few quick items tonight. The 29th Street project, always leading off with that because it's a very high-vis project, as everybody in the community knows. As of tonight, we believe we're still on schedule. The wave tops for the community is that it will be open this weekend. It will still be gravel. We're on schedule to have rough paving done by the 7th of November, which will have full access until we complete paving in the spring. So that'll be good news. It'll alleviate a lot of the problems we've had, especially with dust. But again, I want to thank the city water distribution crew for the work they've made on that. We're still researching the recycling bins tasking that we got last week, making progress on that, and I'll come with an official recommendation at the next board of commissioners meeting for location of those bins. And the last thing is I've talked numerous times about the how can we help version 2.0 on the website. We're running into some software issues on the website. You can still use the version that's out there now. I've not received any feedback that we are not responding in time, so I encourage everybody in the community to continue to use that option. Whenever you have an issue with the city that's non-emergency related, go there, pick the topic that you need. If you don't know which one it is, you can pick a miscellaneous category, and that'll come straight into the city manager's office, and we'll get you in the right, the right director that can take care of it. Mr. Mayor, that's all I have.
Okay. Thanks, Manager. Appreciate it. At this point in our meeting is public participation. If anyone would like to address the Board of Commissioners, you give your name and address and would limit your comments to 5 minutes or less.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
My name is Gerald Thompson, and don't want to be presumptuous, but let me take the opportunity to introduce myself and my wife, Jolene. We've recently returned back to Ashland. We were both born and raised here many, many years ago. We've been off and pursued other careers. I've spent 30 years in the Army myself as an infantryman and a special forces officer, and last 15 years in D.C. doing other things. Well, Jolene has been working in the oil industry and also as a civilian employee with the Department of Defense. And by coincidence, we both spent a lot of time in the Middle East. I've got two issues that I'd like to just, this is going to be not the sort of thing that leads directly to an ordinance, but as we try to settle ourselves back here in the community, a couple of things come to our attention I think we all need to talk about. Beg your indulgence. The first, and one that we're familiar with, is the issue of opioid addiction and how to deal with it. I don't need to tell you it's complex, multifaceted, and it's a danger to us. The city's got opportunities coming, but this is a threat to those opportunities because of the threat that it poses to our workforce and so forth. How do we deal with this? 30 years in the Army taught me to look for who's giving the direction and who's allocating the resources. I don't see that. Where's the belly button in the city government? I spent the afternoon today at a very fine seminar down here in the bus depot. Well attended, a lot of expertise there, a lot of insight, good information into the nature of the problem, things people are doing about it. Didn't see anybody from the city government there. Really?
He was. Goes in the back.
Okay, thank you. Did see one uniform officer and 3 firemen there, and that was a good thing. But I just think we ought to put it on the table. How are we coordinating? How are we deciding what the campaign plan is? This is a tough problem. Got all kinds of little bits and pieces to it. It needs prioritization. How do we do that? Kind of sort of related to it, there's another one that catches my attention. This is going to really be, I think, be off the typical agenda, but I don't know any other way to address it than if the city leadership doesn't talk about it as a city leadership. And that's the way our representation works to the legislature, both in Frankfort and in Washington. I noticed that the way the district boundaries got drawn the last time, they just split Boyd County right in half. We're neither fish nor fowl. We're neither 4th district nor 5th district. This affects the way things get done. You know, you got a lot of things going on, university down in Pikeville, university up in northern Kentucky. ACTC's performing like heroes out there. But this needs to be, a community needs to be represented here. And I would say it's not just Ashland and Boyd County, by the way, but what I would suggest is we adopt a platform that says that we want the 5-co area to be represented in somebody's district, not split in half. Right now, you're neutered, frankly, in Washington. I spent enough time in Washington to know how that works. And you're neutered. That's not the way you want to be. You want to have a voice. And so, I don't think that's a partisan issue, by the way. When people talk about redistricting, they want to get into Democrats and Republicans and all that sort of thing. I would suggest that if we really want to make progress on that, the way to approach it is we want community representation. To hell with the party. I think we ought to talk about how we go about doing that. Okay, that's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your service to our country also. Anyone else?
Ann Perkins, 2603 Cumberland Avenue. I just wanted to address the commission and basically announce that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we dedicate this whole month to awareness. Let the commission know that tonight we're housing about 57 women and children in our emergency shelter, 30 in my transitional, and about 75 in our permanent apartment. So that means we have about 150 women and children in our facilities every single day, 365 days a year. Last year, 28 people were murdered through domestic violence in the state of Kentucky. We've got a very serious problem, and I just want to, again, bring awareness. I know Mr. Gracie's new to town, and I would love for you to come up and take a tour. The city of Ashland is a huge partner of ours. We get Section 8 project-based vouchers for our housing. We have a bus stop that we're your biggest bus customer. We have tremendous support from the police and fire. And I just want to welcome you to Ashland and invite you to come up to Safe Harbor and take a tour. Thank you all.
Thank you for the work you do, Ms. Perkins. And if you had 250 beds, I just wondered how long it'd be that you can fill those. Pretty quick. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Thank you all for being here. Old business, item A.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland amending the authorized positions of the policies and procedures, compensation plan, and classification plan as adopted by ordinance number 51, series of 2017, by increasing the total number of crew leaders, equipment operators 2 and 3, and pump station technicians each by 1, and decreasing the total number of distribution operators by 3 for the Department of Engineering and Utilities Division of Water Distribution.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed, like sign. Consent agenda.
A resolution of the City of Ashland adopting, authorizing, and approving the course of action presented by the city manager on the items appearing on the consent agenda for the regular meeting of the Board of City Commissioners of October 26, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, discussion on consent agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Before we go into new business, I'd like a motion to go into executive session for 2 items, 1 personnel and 1 on potential litigation.
Make a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I would ask if you could amend your motion to recite that we're going to executive session on personnel matters, pending litigation, and potential litigation.
Okay, they're separate, 3 separate items.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't think we'll be very long. If I did, I don't know for sure, but I usually tell you. We usually do this at the end of the meeting, but this is the important reason why we're doing it right now. So if you do have to leave, we appreciate you being here. We'll let the record reflect that we returned from executive session at 6:43. 6:43. And I need a motion to amend the executive session to include that property acquisition is one of the issues that was discussed. All of the issues discussed, no action was taken, no vote on anything, strictly discussion, as all you can do in executive session for your information.
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motions?
I have a motion. I'd like to make a motion to deny grievance number 17-05 and grievance number 17-06 and approve the action of the city manager.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Council, we need another motion on those issues. Okay. New business. Item A.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement between the City of Ashland and Bluegrass Phillies M&M Management Services, LLC, regarding a parking encroachment on 8th Street at 739 Carter Avenue on the city's right-of-way.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? This is a new restaurant going in that needs to, I'm sure, make cuts to get a parking area on the side street. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item B.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an amended agreement with Community Assistance Referral Service, Inc., originally the subrecipient of $48,000 from the 2017 program year Community Development Block Grant, hereby reducing said amount to $28,000 and repealing ordinance number 60, series of 2017.
Got a motion?
So moved.
Got a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Refusal.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item C.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland amending Section 2 of Ordinance Number 70, Series of 2017, which is commonly known and referred to as the budget ordinance of the City of Ashland.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item D.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland authorizing and directing the mayor to accept the proposal of Blue Water Kentucky LLC in an amount not to exceed $25,000 to provide management consulting services for water distribution and sewer maintenance, and to provide a detailed overview of the organizational leadership and management, budgets, operating and capital, organizational challenges and opportunities, capital improvement program, organizational reporting and performance of operations and capital, and water revenue, loss, and metering for the Department of Engineering and Utilities.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a couple of questions. Just for my own clarification. First, I want to say I'm thrilled that we are doing a study of our water system. I've asked since the very first time I ever sat in this seat that we do that.
Much needed.
Yes, yes. The only thing about this proposal that concerns me is that it's not by the proposal, it doesn't have to be finished until August the 30th of 2018. And that concerns me in terms of next year's budget. I'd like to have the recommendations before we start as we're budgeting, or at least before we start the budgeting process, in order to budget for whatever recommendations come out of this. And so that worries me a little bit.
Commissioner, we'll see if there's latitude to get this done earlier, given the contract cost, but most importantly, we'll be getting in-progress reviews from the contractor to include budget estimates or costs that we could consider as part of the budget process next year.
As long as we have a path forward for the budget, then I'm okay with it. If we were gonna have to wait until August the 30th to get recommendations to make a budget for the next fiscal year, I couldn't go, felt like we're kicking the can.
I'm with you. I agree with that.
Understood.
So if we could see how that shakes out before we have the second reading, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. That's extremely important action to take. Item E.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland designating the city as a participant in the Boyd County Solid Waste Management Area, approving the Boyd County Solid Waste Management Plan, and authorizing and directing the mayor to execute said plan.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just explain, just a little explanation to the city manager for the public.
This is required by KRS 224.43 for cities and municipalities to have a solid waste management plan. This is at least the second time that I'm aware of, we've been in the solid waste management plan of the county. We're not part of their county-wide program, that we have to do our own. They contract out with a engineering firm to come up with this. The team has reviewed this from finance, public works, and also the city engineers. After we did the first draft, we saw the team picked up some errors that we get back to Boyd County. They corrected those errors, and what we're presenting to you now is accurate, and we're very comfortable with. There's no negative impact on the city of Ashland.
Okay.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item F.
An ordinance of the City of Ashland authorizing and approving change order number 4 between the City of Ashland and Distal Construction, Inc. for a contract regarding the Mill Street building project for the Department of Engineering and Utilities, extending the contract 70 days.
So moved.
Second.
So this will be finished by Monday?
Essentially, wrong doors were ordered by the contractor. In order for us to make a payment, we have to extend the contract. The correct doors have been ordered and installed. So basically, this just allows us to extend the contract in order to make a payment to the
But
contractor.
it doesn't add anything to the payment?
No material cost.
No material cost added.
How's it going up there?
Actually, the first phase is complete. They're done. So the second contractor has already moved in.
Good, good.
Okay. Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Reappointment.
We have a reappointment of E.B. Jevon III to the Ashland Park Board for a 4-year term that began October 18, 2017 and will expire October 18, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Any other matters before us? We need to recess.
Correct.
We need to recess this meeting till 8:30 in the morning.
Oh.
Well, I really think Pat ought to be one running, not you. We've given him the morning off, but I think he refuses to take it.
I still have my night jacket on.
That's okay. You have your warm
Yeah.
hat on too. I think we need a second reading. We have emergency reading on all these.
So
Yes.
moved.
Well, on the solid waste management.
Okay, gotcha.
Mr. Mayor, just to clarify, there will be a first reading of a bill or an ordinance tomorrow for the finance department. There will also be a couple of consent items for your consideration as well, as addition to the second reading. And we may do the second reading on all the bills that are eligible to be read at the same time, except probably the one we discussed.
Okay, thanks, council, appreciate that. So we stand in recess till 8:30 in the morning. Vote to receive file this agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Old business, council.
Item A, an ordinance of the city of Ashland authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement between the city of Ashland and Bluegrass Phillies M&M Management Services LLC regarding a parking encroachment on 8th Street at 739 Carter Avenue on the city's right of way.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item B.
An ordinance of the city of Ashland authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an amended agreement with Community Assistance Referral Services, Inc., CARES, originally the subrecipient of $48,000 from the 2017 program year community development block grant, hereby reducing said amount to $28,000 and repealing ordinance number 60 series of 2017.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item C.
An ordinance of the city of Ashland amending section 2 of ordinance number 70 series of 2017, which is commonly known and referred to as the budget ordinance of the city of Ashland.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item D.
An ordinance of the city of Ashland designating the city as a participant in the Boyd County Solid Waste Management Area, approving the Boyd County Solid Waste Management Plan, and authorizing and directing the mayor to execute said plan.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item E.
An ordinance of the city of Ashland authorizing and approving change order number 4 between the city of Ashland and Distal Construction, Inc. for a contract regarding the Mill Street building project with the Department of Engineering and Utilities, extending the contract 70 days.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Consent agenda.
A resolution of the city of Ashland adopting, authorizing, and approving the course of action presented by the city manager on the items appearing on the consent agenda for the regular meeting or the special recessed regular meeting of the Board of City Commissioners of October 27, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just want to say that I'm glad to see the support for the 29th Street corridor on this agenda. I think it speaks volumes to how we all feel about how that needs to be handled. I appreciate that.
Yes. And this is the way to go about doing
Trying to help. I know all of you have been over there almost daily and trying to help them and talk to many of them. It's extremely frustrating for elected officials. When you have an unfunded mandate, you gotta do it. It's gonna be a positive result at the end, but people and businesses suffer in the meantime, and there's certain things you can do and certain things you can't do to help them, and I appreciate this effort to promote them as possible. I know a lot of people have made attempts to go down that way because of, they know, and that's the kind of community we are. So, Commissioner, I echo that. I appreciate that we're moving on this, and we appreciate action and motion handling.
That was my next comment. So I wait to sit there and just.
We count on it. Thank you for being here. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. New business.
Item A, an ordinance of the city of Ashland authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a public transportation grant agreement between the city of Ashland and the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet for a fiscal year 2018 capital state match contract grant for the Ashland bus system.
So moved.
it. Second.
I'd just like to say, I'll say it again, we have a nice crowd, Mr. Grubb, Michelle. I appreciate everything you've done. You turned around before, you're doing it again, even a higher level. I know it isn't, what I really appreciate, I appreciate that first, what you're doing. Secondly is how you keep us informed on it. we really need to know good things like that and the progress we're making, not only with the physical plant, the bus schedule, the brochure you put together, personnel decisions you've made, and I don't know about the rest of the board, but I see no negative calls or comments from anyone relative to anytime you change the system around a little bit. I would hope people realize in a town the size of Ashland to offer the kind of bus system we do, you have to be solvent when you do it, and I know you're making that happen. And in the same vein, what you've done down there at the building just make it look the way it should. I mean, I appreciate the dedication of both of you and your staff down there.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would point out that we got a great staff, one sitting right here, one sitting right there, to make some things happen for us.
Well, it shows, and we're very appreciative. All of us, I know we are. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign. Item B.
Going to the City of Ashland, authorizing and approving change order number 1 between the City of Ashland and Commonwealth Economics Partners LLC, which accepted the proposed downtown redevelopment project as it relates to both the state tax increment financing and Tourism Development Act for the Department of Community and Economic Development by increasing the city's contribution by $6,132.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Plum, can you kind of explain that? This is a new item on here.
Yes, sir. This is just a change order to our original contract with Commonwealth Economics. You know, we had tried to estimate how much time we thought it was going to take to get through the TIF funding project, and it was our first time through. We just came up a little bit short. Just correct.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?